Hi guys, in this video I'll show you how to make substrate for millipedes like this one using materials or ingredients that you can find around your house without buying other ingredients or materials. And also I'll show you how I set up this complete enclosure just like this.
First ingredient of our millipede substrate is the forest floor topsoil. It is composed of topsoil, dried leaves, decaying wood, and decaying leaves. You can sun dry this or bake this to ensure that there are no other organisms included in your substrate. Next ingredient would be the dried banana leaves. I just cut it into smaller pieces. You can also use other types of leaves. Third ingredient would be the dried moss. This will help in keeping the humidity and moisture in our substrate. Mix all the ingredients. For me, I use 3 parts of forest floor topsoil, 2 parts of dried banana leaves, and 1 part of dried sphagnum moss or dried moss. After mixing well, your substrate will look like this. After mixing, I will also add crushed eggshell, calcium powder, and lime powder to ensure that there will be enough calcium source, and also the soil will be neutralized by the lime powder. This is very important for the exoskeleton or shell of the millipede. That would be all for our substrate. Now we're going to set up our millipede enclosure. First, we need is an enclosure. I already put some vent hose in this 20 liters mega box. You can also use other Tupperwares or other enclosure. This will totally depend on your preference. Next, I will put some charcoal with springtails. Charcoal has a property that absorbs some bad odors or elements. Now let's put the substrate that we made a while ago. Millipedes requires deep substrate, ideally substrate that is equal to their length, because they tend to bury when laying eggs, molting, or if it's hot, they will bury because there will be relatively lower temperature in the deepest part of their substrate. Now I'm also adding some driftwoods and decaying wood, because this will also, aside from their substrate, this will also be their food source itself. And for your information, millipedes tends to climb and explore during nighttime since they are nocturnal. I noticed them going around and climbing in this driftwood, so this will be helpful for their exercise. And we also add aesthetics to your enclosure. I also placed water dish for the millipedes because I'm keeping tropical millipedes and they like water and they used to soak during the typhoons and rain. I'm also adding dried moss on top of their enclosure because, for your information, they really like to eat dried moss. I also spray this dried moss so they increase the humidity on the enclosure. Now I will thoroughly mist the enclosure, especially the part where the dried moss are located. Now it's time to put our millipedes, and this is my favorite part, putting the small and big millipedes in their new home or new beings. Yeah. And I think that would be all for this video, and thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something from this vlog. Last reminder is to avoid using cocoa peat or fiber in your substrate because according to experienced hobbyists and millipede keepers, it's not good for them because it may cause impaction in their stomach or gut. But in my experience, uh, they can tolerate it at especially small amount of cocoa peat because they are bigger species. Thanks for watching. God bless you and happy keeping.